I still did a better howl than the Wolfman.
In Monster Brawl?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. The howls in Big Money Wrestlers were actually pretty good.
They weren't bad.
Yeah.
All right, Royal Rumble.
Del Rio versus Big Show for the world title and last man standing match in the opener. Before the match, Del Rio and Ricardo bumped into Bret Hart. He put Del Rio over. Del Rio put him over. Ricardo marked out. Bret gave him sunglasses. That was it. So they had a last man standing match. It was quite good. Very good pay-per-view opener. They brawled up the ramp to the stage, and they had this wacky set design up there. And they set up a table, and just because it's wrestling, they started fighting on the set. So they were maybe 6 or 8 feet off the ground, and Show chokeslammed Del Rio through the table from up there. Del Rio went in almost upside down. Very scary. But he survived. He managed to get up at 9. They, somewhere in here, Del Rio hit a nut shot, and Big Show did the funniest and most realistic selling for a nut shot I've ever seen. He just stopped, bent over, put his hands on his knees, breathed deeply, and was really pissed off. Yeah.
Yep.
So eventually they got back down to ringside. Del Rio started smashing Show's arm between the chair and the stairs. Hit him with a fire extinguisher. They got back inside, and Ricardo, who had been taken out earlier, he sprung to life, swooped into action, grabbed a roll of duct tape, and tied Big Show's feet to the bottom rope as Del Rio had him in the arm bar. And finally, they both let go, and Big Show, with his bad arm, was unable to break the hold of the duct tape, and he could not get up by the 10 count, and so he lost.
Too fat to sit up.
Bryan, I know you said this. He wouldn't get out of this duct tape.
Well, I realize that, but
With a bad arm.
I did like him struggling to do a sit-up and failing like 6 times.
So, fans were chanting, "This is awesome." It's a little strong. It was really good.
I enjoyed it.
I will say, though,
I was amazed by the Big Show as usual.
I will say that Del Rio, since his big title win, I think he has yet to pin or submit a man and leave with his head held high. He has buried guys under tables. He has taped them to the ropes. Or the one time he did get a win was on SmackDown, and then he was immediately taken out by his challenger. Just have him beat people. A person. Have him beat a person. Dolph did a promo backstage. It ended with, it started really with Big E staring Matt Striker down and scaring him away. They did a very nasal, old-school newspaper guy voice to interview Dolph. It's quite wacky.
What got into Big E?
I don't know what got into Big E. What old movie he watched where he saw this and stole this from. So Ziggler was talking about WrestleMania and the briefcase and the Rumble and everything, and everyone, they're like 5, well, a bunch of people in the living room, but about 5 of us tried to translate what he had said here, what his message was. Apparently, he said his goal was to win one belt at WrestleMania, then cash in his briefcase and the other belt and unify them.
Or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Cash in before Mania, win the title at Mania, and unify them both at Mania.
Maybe that's what he said.
Regardless, he wants to win all the belts.
All right. We then got short little 1990s style, like 30-second promos from a bunch of guys about how they were going to win the Rumble. There were some pretty big name guys like Antonio and Randy Orton and Cena and Wade Barrett and Sheamus and Ryback and the prime time players.
Yeah.
One name does not fit.
Randy Orton?
No.
Actually, of all the names, Randy Orton fit the least because he looked like he had the worst teeth pulled. That came off poorly. He had the worst.
What in the fuck are you talking about?
It's like pulling teeth.
Like he didn't want to be there?
Yes.
I see.
I was trying to find a way to get teeth pulling into that. And it came out that Randy Orton had the worst teeth.
Or the worst teeth pulling.
The worst teeth pulling. You had to pull the most teeth out of Randy to get him there.
There you go. That was so worth the effort.
Actually, it wasn't because that doesn't even make sense. They kept pulling teeth until he agreed to do a...
Yes, I believe that may have happened here. They said, Randy, we need a promo. And he said, no. So they yanked a tooth. And he said, cut a promo. And he said, fuck no. They pulled another tooth. He said, fine.
Yeah, that you're right. I was right.
You were right. I defended you. In fact, I saved you.
Yeah, good work.
It showed Antonio beating Miz on YouTube, including a spot where Miz jumped off the top rope and landed on his feet. And I thought he blew out his knee, but apparently he hurt his ankle. And I guess he's okay. Rhodes Scholars, Wrestle Team, hell no. It wasn't much of a match, honestly. It was every tag match you ever saw.
It was a match from Raw.
And then Damian, first Kane tried something off the top and kind of fell down. And then Damian tried a twisting neck breaker where Kane twisted the wrong way. So it started off from not very high heights, and then it fell. And finally, they tapped out Damian with a no lock, and that was it. They had a wacky skit with Bryan and Kane about what numbers they drew. I was getting pizza. I missed it. Showed all the Q&A panels and charity stuff they did during the week of the Rumble, including children reading a book called Chico the Brave.
Yeah, about my life.
I demand a book report.
Well, I'll get it for you. Maybe Granny will do it.
Yeah.
I think Granny's debut was when she did a book review of Fabulous Moolah's book. But she only read a little of it.
Is Moolah or Gorgeous
recall.
George?
I'm pretty sure it was Moolah. It started out, and then later she did Gorgeous George.
Okay. They also showed Bo Dallas winning the NXT tournament for a Rumble slot. Then we had the Rumble. I'm assuming I'm not going to go through this like guy by guy. I really enjoyed the Royal Rumble. I thought it was a very good Rumble.
It's a fun Rumble.
Maybe there could have been... It was missing the one spot, and there were a few times where I was looking for it, where like Ryback or Sheamus or somebody would come in and throw about 6 dudes in a row. That never happened. I checked the website, and officially, Ryback had the most eliminations with 5, which is not very many, considering Kane once had 11 in one match. Some highlights. The spot with, they took Bo Dallas, and what an easy way to get him to do something with him. They put him in the Rumble. He lasted for like 20 minutes or something, and he got out a name guy. He got out Wade Barrett. Easy. And then Wade came back and yanked him out. That was great. The spot with Team Hell No, where Kane, who needed only one elimination, or he needed 4 eliminations to set the career record. He got one, and then his own partner stabbed him in the back and threw him out. That was great. And then the spot where Bryan was knocked off the apron into Kane's arms, and they had a moment. And Kane was screaming no, and Bryan was screaming yes, and the fans were screaming everything.
Should he have put him back?
I've gone back and forth on this.
To think we're still debating this here on Tuesday. I think he should have put him back. I think that would have got one of the bigger pops of the evening if Kane would have put him back in that ring.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It got a giant pop anyway. But yes, if he had like shaked his head and then put him back on the apron, and like Bryan had said thank you, and then turned around and eaten a broad kick and got knocked off anyway, that would have been pretty great. It was great regardless. It was easily the high point of their the whole storyline.
Apparently they're splitting up, so that would
it's weird they won here then.
What they did. Well, I mean, there's still time to lose titles. They could lose a title and break up that day.
That's true.
Got to plant seeds.
Plant the seeds. The team is built around them not getting along.
Yeah, but now they're really not getting along.
I see. I did, as you noted on Twitter, I will admit that I went, yay, every time someone from 3-Man Band came out. Although I'll also note that with each successive entrance, my yay got a little less enthusiastic. And by the end it was, yay.
Because they weren't winning?
They didn't do very well. Honestly, I thought they would do a big spot where they all got in and working together, they beat up everyone in the ring. So you just had bodies in the ground and 3-Man Band standing triumphant. And they would do air guitar for like a minute and then turn around and they'd all get dumped. Obviously, that didn't happen. In fact, I don't think they were even in the ring together. So it came down to the final 4 of... somewhere in here, I wrote this down. Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, John Cena, and Ryback. And Randy Orton was 5, by the way, so a lot of big names here. Jericho also almost made it. And Ziggler quickly got dumped, and he was my pick to win. And Sheamus didn't last much longer, and then Ryback and Cena...
Ziggler was really your pick to win?
If I had like put money on it, I would have gone Cena. But I will say this. If they didn't go with Cena, I would have picked Ziggler. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Is it a cop-out?
If they hadn't gone with Rock winning the title,
yeah,
I'd have gone with Punk.
Of all the plan Bs, this is the plan B they would have gone with.
I see.
Yes. I said last week after he, when Vicky announced he was 1 or 2, I immediately thought, well, he's winning then. And
Thought wrong.
I thought wrong, but... So anyway, Cena won. Tossed right back out. Pretty good for the finish. But, yeah, I really enjoyed this Rumble match. I didn't miss any details here. Khali sucks.
I still think they shouldn't have put Ryback in there at the end with Cena. My only conclusion is that they're planning on doing Cena Ryback in Mania next year. And this was their tease. Because, Ryback, how many times have I mentioned this? Ryback was an undefeated killing machine, and then they booked themselves into a corner and had to put him in a Hell in a Cell match for a title they didn't want to change, and he proceeded to lose on every single big show from that point forward.
Yeah.
He has failed over and over and over and over again. And so, it'd be one thing if he were in there and 18 guys teamed up and all threw him out. But no, he went one-on-one with John Cena. John Cena reversed a whip, if I recall correctly. And face up, head up, one-on-one. He threw Ryback out. Ryback fails again. Probably doesn't matter too much, but I wouldn't have done that.
A lot of guys have been the runner-up in the Rumble and come out okay.
Well, sure, but it's just... Maybe if he hadn't lost on 3 straight pay-per-views in title matches and such, it'd be one thing, but this guy cannot win now. Unless it's squash matches over Brodus Clay or whatever. Anyway.
And the main event was CM Punk versus The Rock. It was very long. It was a bit of a slow start, but then by the end it was quite awesome. And they're doing all the near falls and doing chants for both guys. And half the crowd chanting boots to asses and the other half chanting knees to faces. They did the boo yay spot and both guys got booed and both guys got cheered. Great reaction all night. And finally they're doing the near falls and Rock is about to go for the rock bottom. Oh, he went for the people's elbow. And before he could hit it, the lights went out. There's chaos and noise and Michael Cole screaming that the Shield was there. And when the lights came back on, Shield was gone. Rock was laying in a pile of rubble that had been the table. Cole was screaming it was the Shield. JBL told him to shut up, called him a stooge repeatedly. Punk acted like he had no idea what had happened, threw Rock into the ring and pinned him. And I thought, well, that's a completely anticlimactic and flat finish. Vince came out, said he was going to strip Punk of the title. Before he could do it, Rock said, no, I'm going to beat him. You restart this match. So he did. And a few minutes later, Punk went for the go to sleep, but Rock slipped behind and hit the spinebuster and people's elbow for the win. And the longest reign in 20 years of the WWE Championship came to an end via people's elbow.
Rock pinned many people with the people's elbow.
Rock pinned a lot of people with the people's elbow.
I don't know where people get this idea that he never won with the people's elbow.
He has won lots of titles with the people's elbow before. Yeah. But when you haven't seen it for a decade, it does look absurd.
Well, yeah.
So.
No less absurd than a Rock. No. The F-U.
Yeah, that's just like every other throw in the world.
You drop a guy. Besides, did you see him do that people's elbow? He took his own bump and bounced 16 feet in the air.
He did sell the elbow more than most men sell elbows they get hit with.
Yeah.
But
the power of that elbow.
This is an exceptionally good pay-per-view main event. It would be the best match on a lot of pay-per-views. I think I like the Rumble better. But either way, a thumbs-up show for sure between those two and the very good opener.
Besides, he had such a powerful spine buster. Got to take that into account.